Hi there guys, Ken from Miniature Wargaming Warriors, and today I am setting a hobby challenge. This challenge will involve making a piece of terrain, just very simple terrain, doesn't have to be anything complex, but you can do that if you wish to. Basically it's for all the YouTubers out there and everyone involved in the hobby to go out there and make a video on how to make quick and easy terrain, just out of a few bits. So for me today, I'm going to show you how I just take these plastic trees and just jazz them up a little bit and make nice bits of scatter terrain. It's really simple and it's really quick and it makes the board look really nice. Anything you can do to help improve the tabletop. Now we're getting back to doing some games at last. I'm managing to get over and play a game with Liam hopefully today, which will be very nice. So a battle report will be coming very soon. But like I say, this video is mainly just for the challenge for the YouTubers out there, and also a quick little guide for anyone wanting to create some scatter pieces. So let's see what you can do, guys. If you want to, you can put it on the Facebook page, the Miniature Wargaming Warriors Facebook page. Link will be below, and just put some pictures up there, a brief description of what you've done and how you've done it, or you can do a little video or something like that. But for the main YouTubers, let's see some videos, guys. So there's your challenge, and give it a couple of weeks and let's see what you can do. So for this project, I've decided to go for basing with 3mm XPS foam. You could use MDF, but I've gone with XPS foam because I had some lying about. It's really thin, it's really lightweight, and it takes the paint from the airbrush really well. I don't use a rattle can on this for the pure reason of the rattle can melt foam, so it's got particles in it that dissolve foam, so I don't want to be doing that. I'm just using air instead of any accelerant like you get in a rattle can. I'm just going over a brown base coat. The reason for this, I don't really want any of the white showing through, even though I'm putting scatter terrain on the top like flock and things, just in case any of it manages to sneak through. There's a brown undercoat so you won't notice it. It's quite handy, to be honest, to actually have in the airbrush because it does speed up a lot of this time. You could do this by hand. There's no reason you couldn't paint it by hand. I'm not looking to do an even coat or anything like that. I just literally want to cover the white up. So while I'm at it as well, the brown I'm just putting around the plastic bases of the trees. They're quite glossy at the moment, so I'm just going to go over with this darker brown just to try and get rid of the glossy finish and make it a more matte finish. Just make it look a bit more natural, to be fair, because it's quite a red sort of ochre sort of brown that's on there at the moment, but I just want a more dark earthy brown for the wood colour. So the basic concept of these trees, just to jazz them up a little bit and make them a little bit different so they're not all looking the same, I've found a couple of colours. So I've got like a darker green in my airbrush range and a lighter green. I'm just going to go over the trees with these, so I'm going to go quite a lot dark green, as you can see at the moment, all over these, and then I'm going to come over and like highlight certain aspects with the lighter green afterwards. I really think it gives it a really nice effect. It makes the trees a little bit more unique. Otherwise they're all looking the same and they all just stand out the same, and it just doesn't look right in my book, to be fair. I'm not really overall happy with it if I just have them just basic. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. It's really nice to have you along on this hobby journey with us. Really active community we've got over on our Facebook page. People are always posting up their pictures of what they've done. It's the best place to find out all the latest information. Like, I'm about to stick up a link to a live stream we're doing Monday, so the Monday night the Plastic Crack podcast. We've got none other than Michael Perry from Perry Miniatures. He's coming on the show, and it's going to be having a chat with him, asking him some questions from you guys in the crowd. Also, we've got some prepared questions. You can also stick some comments on Facebook if you want us to ask him anything like specific. But yeah, it's where you find all the latest information, so why not check it out? See the video description below, and it should have a link in it right now. So again, with the airbrushes, like, just makes this so much easier. This makes this whole concept of doing this so much easier. You could use rattle cans on this trees. It's not going to melt anything. There's no reason you couldn't. Just need a couple of different shades of green. It could be, you know, quite expensive if you've got to spend like £8 or something on getting 2 cans of different greens. I understand an airbrush can be expensive on the outgoing, but I'm really finding it an invaluable tool for the amount of stuff I can actually do with it. I can do so much, like these trees. You know, I can paint buildings with it. You just can cover a really large area quite quickly with a nice smooth even coat. Okay, now the trees are completely done. Now it's time to move on to the actual base itself. Really simple stuff I'm going to be using here. The glue I'm using is PVA from Luke's APS. You notice I'm not completely flooding it with glue. I'm just putting drops on and then I'm going to scrape it across. It is the fast drying basing glue that Luke does. It is very quick at drying, especially when it's this hot weather as well. If you can always stick it out in the sun and it will dry a lot faster. What you got to be careful of is warping, and if you don't know what warping is, basically what it is the edge of the actual basing material bends inwards. There's loads of videos on it. Mel the Terrain Tutor does an excellent video. I have found with these smaller bases, I'm not getting any warping with this 3mm XPS foam. If you're going to make bigger bases, then I would expect to see some warping. You can counteract this in different ways, but like I say, I'll try and find his video for it and I'll stick it in the comments below in case anyone's interested in that, because it is a really good video and he goes really in depth with it. Really recommend watching him. It's where I get a lot of terrain enthusiasm and terrain like different ideas and things from Mel. He really does do some great stuff, and he's bringing out a book as well through Kickstarter. I'm sure quite a lot of people that are serious about their terrain have gone on to that and so it like backed it. But now we're moving on, and you can see I'm sticking some like flock down. This is the Woodlands. I think it's like Woodlands floor or something like that from Luke APS. Love Luke stuff. Really lovely blend. It just like gives it really nice touch. I haven't bothered using like, I could use sculptor mold on this to make it a bit uneven and stuff, but I just want it for a scatter piece really. So I'm only just doing a quick rough job with it. It's, you know, these aren't designed to take very long to make. I made a load this morning before I've actually done the video, so I've done this one and then I made about maybe 15 other pieces after. And the 15 pieces without having to record and stuff probably took me about 2.5–3 hours in total. Drying time included, probably about 4 or 5 hours in total for that. And then they're good to use. You can afterwards obviously give it a matte varnish spray, but we're pretty much getting there, to be fair. I've stuck it down with PVA glue, so if you've got the time and just to let it dry, it'll be fine like that. But what I do after is I use a bit of super glue. Not much, because super glue does melt into the actual foam base, so you got to be very careful with what you do. I just put a few drops just to make it go. It goes quite hard when it's mixed in with the PVA, and it really does dry on there quite nicely for the trees. But I'm also using some of Luke's Woodland Tufts, so from Geek Gaming, and yeah, really does make the piece when you go in there afterwards and you put these tufts on. There's a few different types. So I've got these Woodland Tufts, and I've also got some stuff from Scenic Selection from Boomtown Metals, and these were from my friend Mark, who's one of my subscribers actually. I purchased them through his web store. He's got a link to his store below, but his actual website is m-c-models-painting-services.co.uk, and on there you can find like a load of different selections of tufts and paints. He does a lot of paints, and he also does a online shop, and he does a commission painting service, which is really nice. You just send him an email, send your models off, and it'll paint them up for you, obviously for a price. But his work is really nice. You can see on there on his website like a selection of portfolio stuff, so be sure to check him out. Okay, so I decided I didn't like actually seeing the plastic armatures on the actual base itself, to make it look like roots. I didn't like it at all. So I decided to go and have some more PVA glue and just put some more of the Woodlands floor all over underneath the trees. I think it gives it a much nicer effect, to be fair. And I also go in there and I put some shrubbery stuff on, and I put a few flowers on as well, just to give it a bit of different colour, so stop it all being green. And again, they're from Boomtown Metals, which is really nice. And They are really, really, really nice. The tufts that they do, to be fair, really, really sticky. The stickiest ones I've found so far. Um, it's kind of like, I don't know. I did ask Mark what it was, but even he wasn't really sure because the guy wouldn't tell him. But it is really, really sticky. If you put them down somewhere, you ain't picking them back up unless you put it on the actual model itself where you want it. So yeah, definitely well worth doing. They don't really need the glue application either. So okay, there is the finished piece. Very, very happy with how this has turned out. Just for a bit of scattered terrain, you know, it's perfect for any sort of bolt action board, Lord of the Rings, anything like that, just to block line of sight. Really, really happy again. The woodland floor looks absolutely amazing, and obviously the tufts make it pop and everything, and so with the flower beds. But yeah, once again, guys, get out there, get some hobbying done, get some terrain made. You know, we do a lot of model videos. Why not focus a bit of time on some terrain? It really does help the hobby all overall. Makes your experience much nicer as well. But thanks very much for watching. See you again soon.